Do you like collectibles fairs? Do you make a good deals on these fairs? Or you're just walking around without any particular purpose or goal? How to get a maximum from your visit to the next collectibles fair? See you in today's video. Hello my dear numismatic and Phaleristic friends, welcome to Numistube, a YouTube channel specialized for numismatics and Phaleristics. I'm your host ɗʻʻʻʻʻʻʻ. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, now it's the right moment to do so. In today's video I talk a bit about numismatic and Phaleristic fairs, how to prepare for these fairs, how to behave on these fairs, and how to get a maximum from them. I'll bring you here a collectibles fairs etiquette and some practical advices you can apply on your next visit to the collectibles fair. I talk in this video about my experience and also the experience shared with me by my older and more experienced colleagues. Fair visit planning. It is really important to plan the fair visit in advance. Going to the fair costs time and money, therefore it's much better to be prepared in advance for these fairs than to go around the fair without any purpose or goal. So, create a fair visit plan. First of all, what are your goals regarding this fair? What items, coins, banknotes, orders, medals do you plan to buy? What do you plan to sell if you have some items to offer to dealers? Who do you plan to meet on this fair? Your other collectors' friends, your other numismatic colleagues, some particular dealers, some other people. This networking part is also really important when you are going to the collectibles fair. This planning will make your fair visit successful, and if you have some goals regarding this plan, if you fulfill these goals, or at least majority of these goals, you will feel better because you accomplished some mission, you fulfilled some goals. Otherwise, if you go without plan, if you go without goals, you will feel that you went on this fair for nothing, and that it looked in the end as a waste of time and money. When you are visiting collectibles fair, you have to take some items with yourself. I'm talking here about luggage, something to drink or eat, and equipment you have to take with yourself. Regarding the equipment, I usually take a magnifier, which is really important when you inspect coins, banknotes and medals. A scale, this is especially important when you are buying coins which are not certified. Catalogs and literature, you don't have to carry a huge pile of books with yourself because you have a smartphone and you can have literature basically in PDF. However, don't forget to charge the battery of the smartphone. Then don't forget to take plastic bag for the coins and plastic sleeves for the banknotes, because it happens that dealers don't have bags or sleeves, so it's much better to have your own. Also, if you're buying banknotes, together with plastic sleeves, please take some hardcover book so that you can put the banknotes inside to prevent the folding. If you plan to dig in coin boxes, in this case, I suggest you to take a thin rubber gloves. The items you buy on the fair you will carry in some kind of bag, so it's really important to think about what kind of bag will you take with yourself. My advice is to take only one bag so that you can focus on it. I usually take a leather case or metal case, or in some cases if I have a lot of stuff or if I plan to buy a lot of stuff, I take this bag on the wheels. So this is really practical for the larger fairs. On some fairs you have chairs provided for visitors, so you can basically sit by each table. However, in some cases and in a lot of fairs there are no chairs for visitors. So if you don't like staying and being bended over the table, I suggest you to take a fishing chair. Budgeting and finance. This is one of the most important questions when you are visiting a collectibles fair. It is also the part of the planning. So plan in advance how much money you will take on the fair and how much money do you plan to spend on specific item. This will make your buying decision much easier and much faster. If you don't have a financial plan, then you will be a bit lost because you will not know your limits, you will not know how much you can spend at all, how much you can spend on the specific item. So the good and practical advice here is to take the money you plan to spend plus some extra money, because it can happen that on this fair you see something which is a really good opportunity, some really good deal, and it's good to have extra money in this case. This happened to me when I was younger and less experienced. I came to the fair with some budget. I've seen some items which I didn't expect there. I wanted to buy them, but I spent all my money. I didn't have extra money for these. In these cases, you have to borrow money from the other collectors, and it's really not a pleasant case. So always have money you plan to take to the fair and some kind of reserve for these unpredicted cases. If you set up your financial limits regarding the fair, you will feel much better at the end, because there will be no such feeling as, I spent a lot of money, I didn't think that I will spend so much, I don't feel very good about this fair, I will not visit fairs anymore because I can't control myself. So it's much better to have, let's say, some kind of financial structure in this case. Tickets. Please check in advance if the fair you plan to visit has free entry or you have to buy a ticket. If it's a large fair, if it's a well-advertised fair, you can assume that there will be a lot of people, a lot of visitors. Therefore, it's much better to buy tickets in advance. The best option is if you can buy the tickets online. At the end, you don't want to waste time waiting in line to buy your tickets. In some cases, you can wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes, so you waste your precious time when some other people are inside already checking the coins and banknotes. So, buy the tickets online or buy the tickets day before the fair. If you will not be there day before, ask some of your friends or colleagues if they can buy tickets for you. Safety issues. As you already know, the majority of payments on fairs is made in cash. This means that you will have to take a lot of cash with yourself, like the other people do. Unfortunately, this huge concentration of cash in one place attracts unwanted visitors, I mean thieves and robbers. So please study carefully advices and tips how to hide the money in order to avoid theft. Also, take in consideration what kind of bag you will have with yourself. I personally like to take a handbags, which I can have in front of myself, and I avoid backpacks, rucksacks, or whatever what I can't see all the time. As I told before, there are thieves on the fairs, and they can easily cut your bag. I remember from one of the last fairs I visited, one guy came to us, we were a group of collectors and dealers talking, and one guy came and he showed us his bag, and it was cut with knife. However, the content was not stolen. He was lucky this time, and he told us, pay attention guys, see what happened to me today in the morning. So pay the extra attention on your belongings, especially on your bag. If you are walking through the fair, just keep it in front of yourself that you can see it all the time. One of the most sensitive moments in this case regarding the safety is when you are buying something, when you are looking on the items on the table or on stand, you're focused on these items and you basically can't see what's going on with your belongings. So always, if you have one bag, hold it in front of yourself, don't put it on the floor, and don't forget that you have to pay attention on the bag also, not only on the items. When you ask a dealer that he shows you some item and he gives you these items, these coins, banknotes, and when you took a look of them, when you finished your inspecting, please return it directly to the dealer so that he can see that you returned all the items. Don't just leave it on the table. Because this is the case which happened to one of my colleagues. He went to the numismatic fair in Germany and he asked a dealer that he wants to see some coins. Okay, the dealer took the coins in front of him and he was checking coins. He didn't find anything interesting and he just left the coins on the table. The dealer was around, he was maybe talking to somebody else, but he didn't see the moment when my colleague returned the coins on the table. The problem was that one of the coins was stolen and my colleague was falsely accused for stealing. He returned back to home and he got a call from the dealer accusing him for stealing a coin. So this was a total mess. And my colleague found himself in a really unpleasant situation. At the end they found a real thief, but no matter that, it was a really unpleasant experience. If you plan to buy some more expensive coins, especially gold coins, it's much better to go in group, or when you are leaving the fair, it's much better to ask some of your friends to go with you. Just don't go alone to your car. Trip and arrival. Please plan the trip to the fair carefully. My advice is come one day before and leave one day after the fair. Take a good sleep the day before and wake up early in the morning. It's good to come earlier to the fair before opening hours so that you'll be among the first people who will visit the fair. Always assume that there will be some issue with traffic, with parking, that you can come later, so it's much better to go early in the morning. Why is good to be among the first people on the fair? The reason is simple. The people who come first, they have opportunity to see the items which are the most attractive. Dealers on the fair. Well, there are different sizes of dealers you can meet on the fair. First of all, they are large. If you are visiting large fair, a well advertised and popular fair, there will be large dealers, large auction houses, some medium dealers, and a number of small dealers. Large dealers and the auction houses, they usually have stands, and the small dealers, they have tables only. Of course, stands cost more and tables cost less. When you are visiting fairs, you will see that usually large dealers, auction houses, and part of the small dealers, they have tables well organized, and all items on the table are sorted in some kind of order. However, you can see by some small dealers that they have tables in total mess. Or it seems like that. Well, here is the reason why some dealers have unorganized tables. Well, some collectors see dealers with more organized tables and where items are in particular order, they see it somehow as more expensive because they think that these dealers, they already know what do they have and that they know the prices. However, they have this impression, they think about the dealers who have tables in total mess, that they basically don't know what they are selling, and that they can get maybe a better deal here, and that these dealers are cheaper. However, unorganized tables, the tables in mess, are basically a selling trick. You have to keep in mind that every dealer which comes to the fair is whether full-time dealer or part-time dealer, and he knows exactly the right prices for the items he sells. So don't fall for this trick. You can find good deals by well-organized dealers, and also you can find good deals by these dealers who has tables in total mess. Prices on fair are usually a bit higher than the usual prices you can see online or off fair. Also, some dealers on the fair, they have specified prices exactly for each item, and some of dealers, they don't have prices specified at all. So you have to ask for every single item what is the price. Regarding the personality of dealers and approach to the customers, some dealers are really friendly, really helpful. They will show you their offer without problem. You can ask them questions, they will politely answer you, and they will have a patience for you, no matter will you buy something or not. And this is a professional approach because it doesn't matter if you don't buy on the fair, you can take a visit card and maybe you will call this dealer later and buy this item or some other item. Also, there are these other dealers which are not polite, which are rude and arrogant, and they will treat you in bad manner, especially if they assume that you will not spend a lot of money or that you wouldn't buy anything. This is a really bad approach, but don't be personally offended by this. There is one explanation regarding the such behavior of the dealers. You know, when dealers are visiting a collectibles fair, they have a large expenses. They have to pay for the trip, they have to pay the accommodation. If they are not coming alone, if they are coming with some associates or employees, they have to pay for them. They have to pay for the stand or table. They have to pay a lot of other fees. They have to pay taxes. So there are always a lot of expenses for the dealers. Some of the dealers then feel a lot of pressure to return this investment as soon as possible, and they wish to earn as much as money as possible in the short time in order that they compensate the expenses they had for this fair. And these dealers don't stand the pressure well, and as a result of this, they can behave rude to the visitors of the fair. Like in every other business, there are good dealers and bad dealers. Good dealers are true professionals, helpful, honest, and you can always have a deal with such people without any concerns. However, there is this small portion of dealers who only look how to take the advantage of the people, especially those who don't have much experience in collecting, and they will always look how to cheat them, to rip them off, and this sometimes shadows the whole industry. So don't trust 100% to whatever you hear. Trust to yourself, study the items you buy, learn about prices, read the books, and be informed about the hobby. If you're educated about the hobby, then you will know which dealer you have to avoid. If you like this video so far, if I provided you with valuable information, please share it, like it, and subscribe to this channel. How to approach to the dealer? Prepare in advance a question, what are you looking for? In this way, you will save your and the dealer's time. If you already know what are you searching for, then your job and dealer's job is much easier. A good idea is to have a printed want list with your contact data, and you can give this want list to the dealer so he can take a look on it. Maybe he will find something what you need and he has this on the fair, or if he doesn't have at fair, maybe he has in his office, and he can give you a call later after the fair, and maybe you can make some deal after the fair. If you don't plan to buy anything, tell to the dealer that you just want to see his offer. If you see a crowded tables, a crowded stands, my advice is not to go there until the crowd is cleared, because if you come to the crowded table, you will irritate the other people there, they will irritate you, you will not be able to focus on the items, and in case if you buy something on the crowded table, you can oversee something and later regret because you haven't seen the grade properly, maybe you purchased some damaged thing. So it's much better to go to the table when there are not a lot of people. You have a few moments of peace where you can inspect the items much carefully. Also, if you come to the table and you see that the dealer is talking to some other client, please don't interrupt this deal. How to look on the items on the table? Some of the items you can freely take in your hands, like boxes full of coins, boxes full of banknotes. You can come and dig for the coins, and maybe you will find something which is interesting to you. However, there are other items which are more expensive, and please don't take the items in your hand without asking for the permission from the dealer. A lot of dealers don't like when the customers come and they take items in their hands without their permission. So it's much better to ask in advance, can I take a closer look to this item? Could you please be so kind and give it to my hands so that I can inspect it closely? Majority of dealers will be friendly and they will be glad that they can show you this item you are interested in. When the dealer gives you the item, please hold it over the table. Never took it off the table, keep it over the table. In case if it falls down by accident, it will fall on the table, not on the ground. This is especially important for orders and medals, and especially for orders which are made of the enamel. If they fell on the ground and they fell from the 1 or 2 meters height, they will be immediately damaged. So if you take them in the hand, whatever you take in the hand, just hold it over the table. Some of the dealers, they have these special presentation panels and they can put the items on this panel. This is also good. They can put the item on this panel. You can just bend and look the item from one side, other side, and you will see all the details. It is important to remember, if the coins are in special boxes like proof coins, please don't take the coins outside the boxes. Don't take the proof coins outside the capsules. If you take a proof coin outside the capsule, you touch it with fingers, then it's considered damaged. When you are looking the banknotes, please don't take them outside the album without dealer's permission, or it's much better to ask the dealer to take the banknote out. If you are coming to the fair with some other person which is not in collecting, warn this person that he or she is not allowed to touch the items without permission. So the rule is don't touch anything. How to ask questions? When you are asking dealer questions about the item, please be specific. If there is no price written, ask for the price, ask some additional info, but stick to the questions regarding the item. Don't go to other fields because you just waste your time. Also, don't ask questions like where did he get this item, how much did he pay. So these are questions which dealers usually don't like to answer, so my suggestion is to avoid them. If you find the item you wish to buy, if are you looking for this item for a longer time and if it's within your budget, then the best way is to buy it immediately. Don't wait too much. Don't think maybe there is some other deal which is better, maybe I will buy this in the future. You know, if you're thinking too much, there is a big chance that you will not have another opportunity. So you have to decide, and I think the best way is to decide immediately to buy it. If you think that the price of the item you wish to buy is too high, you can always negotiate with the dealer. However, do it in a polite and respectful way. Also, this respect has to be mutual. During the negotiations, please don't insult the dealer or try to insult his offer. So you don't say stuff like, this is a cheap item, why are you charging so much? Or I can get this item for cheaper. Or, 1 year ago I paid this item much less, or there is another dealer who has this item for less. These are the things which dealers consider disrespectful. So when dealer puts a price on his item, he has a quite good reason why is the price like this. You can always negotiate, you can always try to lower the price, but do it in a polite way. If you wish to get a discount, the much better option is if you buy multiple items, if you spend a bit more money, then you can ask for a discount, and usually the dealers will grant a discount to you. If you wish to buy only one item, especially if it's a lower priced item, if you ask for discount, usually you will not get it. If this item is out of your budget, you can simply tell to the dealer, this is the price I can pay for this item, and I think that it's a reasonable price because of this and that. You can give an explanation, and maybe you can get it later for this amount of money, especially after the fair. If it's not sold, you can come and ask the dealer if he considered maybe your proposal to sell this item for less. Also, you can take a contact from the dealer and you can leave your contact to the dealer, and maybe he will contact you after the fair and offer you this item by a lower price. After you made a purchase, after you paid for the items, please take a contact info from the dealer, take his visit card, and you can also give your visit card to the dealer and take a pictures of the items you purchased together with the dealer's visit card in cases that something goes wrong. For example, when you come home, you can check the items, you can see which items did you buy from each dealer, and if something is wrong with the item, maybe the item is damaged or they're fake or some other issue, you can contact the dealer again and tell them what is the issue. Every honest, every professional dealer will accept returns if it's his fault, if he overseen something or misrepresented and he didn't know in this moment that there is some problem with the item. When the deal is over, when you completed the transaction, you exchange the contacts, then just leave the table, leave the stand, and especially if some other clients is coming and he starts to interact with the dealer, You don't wish to interrupt in this, and you don't wish to waste the dealer's time, because every minute is important. Every minute of the fair costs money. You just go on with your business and leave a dealer with another client. When you go to the fair, try to dress properly. Don't look suspicious, because how are you dressed? It's really important for the first impression. You don't wish to have a bad impression, because if you look strange, if you are dressed strange, dealers and other visitors can see this as a threat. People on the fair are always cautious, especially when they see the people who don't fit in this environment by appearance. So you have to be dressed properly for this occasion. Act politely with people on the fair, don't be aggressive, don't jump into deals. If you see that some deal is going on, you don't go there and start to discuss with the dealer, because you interrupt business in progress. Also, if some other people, they are looking on the items and they are getting information from the dealer and they're asking for the price, and the dealer says this is, for example, 100, 200 euros, and if you want this item, you will not tell, I will pay you more for this. So you have to wait your turn. If the item is sold, okay, this is the way it is, but please don't interrupt the deals in progress. Don't quarrel with people, especially don't quarrel with dealers. I face sometimes that people come to the stand, they wish to fight with dealers, they wish to fight with other collectors, they behave in a way, I know everything, you are all amateurs for me, they are insulting people. So try to avoid the behavior like this. It is bad in general life, and especially on the professional affairs. When you go to the fairs, please don't drink, don't take drugs, because this can bring you into trouble. I remember once I was on one fair, I had a stand there, and the one man, basically it's a young man, he came to my table, he sit down on the chair, and he was just staring in my coins for 15 minutes. He was silent, and it was a really awkward situation for me. And after 15 minutes, he just pointed on 4 coins and he asked, what is the price? Okay, he was the okay client, but the situation was pretty awkward for me, and I don't like when the people like this come to my stand. Kids on fair, it's really nice to see younger generations, kids on fair. With the older collectors, see these young people there, especially kids, they see somehow the future for this hobby and they are happy about it. However, keep in mind that kids are not careful as adults, and no matter how much you explain to them that they can't touch whatever they see, they just ignore this because they are kids. If you are coming with a kid, if you are coming with your son or daughter, or with your grandson, granddaughter to the fair, if they wish to see something, please ask the dealer if they can see the item. You can take it in your hands, you can show them the item from one side or other side. Maybe there are some items they can touch, but be really careful, especially if you are showing expensive items. As I told before, kids will not pay the attention, they will treat it as a toy, and it can easily happen that it falls on the ground and gets damaged, and then you will have to pay for the item, and you don't want to face a situation like this. On some stands, kids can get some small gifts, some small items, for example some coin or banknote, so that he or she can be motivated for collecting in future. I hope that this video helped you, that you learned something new, and that you're now motivated to visit the next Collectibles fair. I would like to hear about your experience with the fairs. Maybe you have some additional advice to the things I said. If you have any comment, any advice, any suggestions, please leave it in the comment section. I will appreciate. I read all the comments. If you like this video, if you like this channel, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Also, check the description below. I wish you a lot of success in the next fair you will visit. See you in next video.